How many change makers are listening right
Yeah,
now?
exactly.
And if you know you're a change maker, which is not usually validated because you come in to bring a fresh, new way of doing things, you know.
You said, Julia, that you have this change energy that comes in, and that maybe that made it difficult or created layers you needed to work through when you were seeing. What did you mean by that?
There's some souls that come in during times of great change. So, like right now, the Earth is going through huge change.
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably probably aligned with you in that. Probably one of those, if I had to guess.
How many change makers are listening right
Yeah,
now?
exactly.
And if you know you're a change maker, which is not usually validated because you come in to bring a fresh, new way of doing things, you know, it's just kind of in your aura field as different layers and frequencies and stuff. And not everybody loves that.
No.
We like doing the same thing, do the same thing. It worked in the past, so we're going to keep doing it. Well, of course, the one thing we're sure of is everything does change and grow and expand. But this time we're in, you know, there's volcanoes, there's floods, there's just earthquakes, shift in humanity's consciousness. There's a lot of channels in there talking about awakening awareness and stuff. Yes, we're being asked to be more in alignment with that intuition. And so your mediumship is coming online. People's ability to feel energy around them, the clairsentience, clear feeling is coming more online. Don't get waylaid by that for people listening, though. That's just one of the abilities to wake up and you can learn to master it. It doesn't have to pull you away, and definitely don't go hide somewhere. But yeah, when a change maker comes in, a lot of times we'll get arrows and rocks and mud balls in the face and stuff like, stop that. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. And you know, you learn a little Aikido. Whew.
Yeah,
There it goes.
yeah.
Here comes another one. Whew. Okay. Oh, blah, that one got me square in the face. All right, clean it off, keep going, you know.
Yeah, so I'm definitely that as well. Um, I've heard people have told me I'm a disruptor or all kinds of fancy names for being a bit challenging at times. And but it was not always easy for me in systems of authority, let's say in school or another, or even
Oh,
in my training and my clinical training. I just wanted to poke back at my supervisors and be like, but I don't think any of this is good enough, or
all of that's getting disrupted right now that you just mentioned.
yeah.
Authority and stuff where we're taught just follow the rules, follow the rules. But we're looking and going, is that really a good rule for today? Or do we need to update it?
Yeah, and so like I feel I came in for this time as well in the sense that I still feel I needed to I can take responsibility for my actions and for being challenging and reactive and not always the kindest. And at the same time, see the lessons preparing me for a time when these systems are ready to change and where I may be able to support the change in that way because they never felt like I fit in super well to them in their at their current conditions and always saw maybe a more expanded potentiality. And that takes my own purification and growth to be ready to be the person who's capable of supporting change in that way. But yeah, I resonate so much with coming in as a change maker and for living during this time where you look around and it's like, wow, there is change. It doesn't always look good. A lot of times it looks really messy and chaotic and sometimes horrifying. But you know, I feel the more we align with maybe our design and a feeling of purpose, not that purpose has to be one specific thing, but a feeling of purpose, it can help steady us to engage. Oh, so, okay, so how do I engage? Like is this all just a random coincidence or am I here to engage in some way to support this transition?
Yeah, for some people, it's just be the lighthouse. For some people, like there's hundreds of thousands of souls here at this new, they're already at this new vibration. And it's a struggle to be in the old vibration, and so you feel like I don't fit in. It's classic, right? How many people that are listening to this channel right now, I feel like I don't fit in, like this world is too cruel, and why are people mean to each other? They should be nicer. We should be working in the environment and sharing resources and all this. It just seems like that's a matter of fact, for them. For some, they'll be developing new technologies. For some, it's just anchor that frequency where you live, be that lighthouse, carry that frequency in your aura that other people can look at you and go, oh gosh, you're so calm. Why is that? I was on a plane one time and we were on the tarmac for like 2 hours. They didn't say why. And then, it's hot. And then they turned us around. It turned out there were storms and stuff, but everybody's getting fidgety and upset and everything. And then they go back to the airport and they unload us and then load us back. And everybody's, getting cranky. And this lady looks next to me and she goes, why are you so calm? I said, well, this is going to happen one way or another. It's how I choose to respond to it. And she said, what do you do for a living? I said, well, I'm a clairvoyant teacher and a spiritual guide. And she went, oh. So we learn neutrality. The outside world can be in peace, it can be in chaos. Either way, I can learn to be in my center, and learn to be neutral to it. If I go and fight it and go, that's not right, that shouldn't be happening. Yes, there are souls that need to be picketing, that need to be out there and engaging and stuff. So do that. But know that when our energy is in resistance, that creates the tension and the sometimes pain in our physical bodies of what we're in resistance.
And that's where I've been guided to, is more of the neutrality in regard to, things like politics and global affairs. It started to feel, as I was trusting my body's natural response and where I wanted to resonate at, it just felt right. I couldn't necessarily always explain it well or reason well with people who were more ramped up and on a particular side or issue. And I can understand all of those things. My own family being ramped up about certain things that relate to our, identities and ancestry. And yet I was just like, well, but my path is guiding me. Like, I have to honor what's unfolding in my body. It's not about a concept or a moral issue or a belief. It's just about how it feels and how I
Yeah.
can continue to be in that place. I also feel my feelings and not ignore my triggers. And I will say, in full disclosure, I am not in my highest light on planes. I tend to get, and maybe this is where I need more protection of other people's energy, because when we get in those spaces, I'm like, oh, I want to get out of here. I don't love being in air.
You got to earn your stripes here. You got to earn these gray stripes, and then
Yeah, I don't have any more to see, but we'll imagine that they'll be gray, and yeah, I do need to earn them, because I mean, my own personal fears when I'm in the air on a plane, but also just being in that, I think being in those confined spaces, sometimes I get a little triggered by that. But
can I interject? You
yeah, go
always say
ahead.
so many things I want to,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
go ahead.
forget the
Yeah, yeah.
other stuff. Some people on a plane where they have trouble with the plane, it was past life where they died in a plane, and now that past life death image is right there every time they get back on a plane, and where it seems like, oh, it's a business person and high functioning person in society, and they get on a plane and it makes no sense. They've never been on a plane that had trouble. They've never
Yeah.
not loved planes. Maybe they even played with planes as a kid, but they get on that plane, that past life death image comes up. That's when you exited last time. It's probably gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Another time I was sitting, I'm just side note, I
Yeah.
was sitting
Yeah.
by a woman and we're getting ready to take off. And I love the takeoff, like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this wave of terror energy is here. And I felt it like from the bottom up, just this wave of total terror. And I thought, oh, wow, there's a wave of terror. I feel it. Are we going down? Nah, I don't think so. Not today. Am I feeling this? And then I always go, is this anybody else's? And immediately I use my tools and stuff. I go, oh, it's somebody else's. Scan around. Oh, it's this lady right here. She's dressed really nice, confident and everything. But the terror is coming from her. And as a sensitive, as a clairsentient, as an intuitive or whatever, and I wasn't using totally all my tools, but not to say it's not okay to feel stuff. That's part of the body system, but I could change it too. I recognize not my energy, her energy. Okay, clear it out, give her a little grounding just to help her. And in less than 5 minutes, totally change my day and get back to my work on my computer, you know. Or I could have stayed on the plane and been trying to solve the terror. Why am I in terror? Oh my God, now I have terror. Now I'm putting energy into the terror. Oh, there's really a lot of terror here. Oh gosh, now there's more terror here. What other people have terror? I'm going to get online and see how to solve terror. You know, that's kind of the popular idea. I would suggest for healers, for people who are sensitive, intuitive, take a look first and see, is this even mine? Because our own energy we can handle, but other people's we can't. That's the overload. That's where the turkey thermometer goes off. Too much overload. If you're a spiritual seeker on your path and ready to develop your natural spiritual abilities, I have classes for you. Or if you're in need of some guidance in the day-to-day life, book a reading with me. I'm here to help you on your journey.
It's such a powerful question. Is this it's actually, is this mine or is this theirs? It's actually was the first time I'd heard that was in the clinical world in this, and my training was based in psychoanalysis, and that was actually a big idea of, psychoanalysis, they use a lot of jargony terms, but it's sort of, they talk about objects or projections, and, are these objects mine or theirs? Like, are these projections mine or theirs? Whose is it? And sometimes that can feel like passing the buck, like passing the blame. Is it the clinician that needs to own some projection, or is it the client? And that happens in so many relationships, right? The parent, child, or partners, like, is this mine or is this yours? Who's the triggered one here, and who's the one who's actually can see clearly? And I think it's always a little messy and takes some humility to really to feel into that. And likely there's in those dynamics, both people are getting lit up and there's something shared is probably the truth of the matter. But, it comes up so much, and I have always been both that, intuitive, empathic person taking on the energy of the spaces I step into, and sometimes even playing the role that, that I feel others are expecting me to play, whether that is, the good one or the real troublemaker, and yet, I have my own stuff to feel as well, and lots of it. So, that's a journey I continue to find interesting. And sometimes I'm curious what you think about this. I think sometimes maybe in others I see on this path, there may be a quickness to say that it's other people's, or a quickness to identify what they're feeling as, oh, I must have picked this up at the store, rather than this is something coming up for me to acknowledge. How do you see that or address that?
Yeah, great question. And it's a really important one for everyone right now. It's often one of the first of our abilities that's clear to see that it's active, is being able to feel energy, like walk in a room and totally get the vibe here, right? You can feel it because you feel it in your body. But I really like to reframe the popular language of I'm absorbing the room, because like when I walk into a room, I have no intention of, people are sad or it's a funeral or something. I have no intention of wanting their grief.
Yeah.
None, right? So why is it there? It's matching. It's a matching vibration, like a string vibrates over here. Here's a D string, boo. And if you put another guitar here, this one resonates also. So when you learn to look energetically, this is a function of the second chakra. So below the navel, female space there, but just
The
for
sacral.
women below the navel, sacral. So relationship, sex, all family, community, all that.
Yeah.
That's where that chakra has the ability, and it matches, it vibrates like a string the way the room is. And then when that string vibrates back in our space, then we resonate it and understand it on an emotional level because that's the emotion of it, right? We can also pick up other energies, right? You walk under a big power line, sensitives will feel that. That's not emotional, but you can feel the energy. Same thing of matching a frequency. So, we can learn to clear that, unmatch, set our own energy, turn down that ability so that we're not overwhelmed by it and just constantly cleaning out. There's technique for all of it. So for me, it's looking at the energy. Like there was this one lady I was working with and was giving her aura healing. We were in person, and it's fun to get aura healing. It kind of when you're in person. So, I'm just kind of feeling some energy. I'm about 2, 3 feet off of her body. And she's a spiritual teacher also and leads and guides others. And get to, there's this red patch of energy. And it said, it's got some anger, frustration, but it's male. And she was female. And I described what the man looked like. He's this tall guy with a beard and kind of kind of beefy guy, but he's really, mad about something. She says, "Oh, that sounds like my husband." And I said, "Well, it's here because you want to help him feel better, but you didn't bring it all the way in, but it's sitting here." And she said, "Yeah, the weirdest thing, I was in the store the other day and this person got really angry at me all of a sudden. That anger energy as a vibration was sitting there. She walked into a store, someone that recognized that or had a match themselves for anger, just totally let her have it out of the blue about nothing." She's like, "Why did that happen? I didn't do anything to this guy. He matched that." So we clear it off, go on with our day.
So a couple of things I wanted to follow up on. One, I've often been told that sacral space is pretty big for me, and that may contribute to why I've always been so sensitive to picking up on that. And had experiences, and to this day, a lot where I'll just be going on walks and like I don't consider myself to be just a naturally super like intimidating, aggressive figure, although I have my own shadows. But I will sometimes experience people just looking either really fearfully at me, or I can tell that I'm triggering people and I'm like, what is going on? I'm curious if you feel that's that same experience. And just to also follow up on how you described matching, like, is the way you are explaining it that we have a part within us, maybe because we have the full set of strings with, just as all human beings do. And so we have that space within us that is either willing or available to match. And do you think that that's always an invitation for us to address and work with what that energy is bringing up in us, or maybe it's just an opportunity to recognize that we were available for that, but it doesn't mean we have to, go through the process as we might at other times.
I love that we all have a full set of strings in us. That's true. And if those strings are claircognizance of clear knowing, where you just know things, clairvoyance, where you can see energy, clairaudience, where you can hear, or telepathy, where you can hear energy, and clairsentience, where you can feel. The thing about clairsentience, when you feel energy, is that it makes it real. I'm really feeling this. I'm
Yes.
feeling the anger here. I know it's there. There's no doubt. But if something comes through on a clairvoyance level, like I thought I got an image of your grandfather. Nah, nah, I didn't.
Right.
It's a little harder to trust and go,
Yes.
"Oh yeah, my abilities are waking up," because there's not a lot of permission for that. But the clairsentient one, it's you are certain you're feeling the energy because most of the time it goes to overload pretty quickly. And here's another fun fact is that the more power a being has, and that power goes towards your sensitivity. Like for someone that's a leader, somebody who works with a lot of people, you need to have a strong solar plexus, power, will, energy. But that power, if it's goes towards your sensitivity, it can kind of amplify your sensitivity. And then you go, now I'm super sensitive. Ah, what's wrong with me? I'm a problem. I need to go hide. No, just a couple of techniques and a couple of tools.